So yeah, like in those type of situations, it's this is me embracing new ways to do things. You know what I'm saying? New ways to do the same thing that I was gonna do anyway. Cause you gotta get creative, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta get creative in determining um, better decision making points. Because if you've been around longer than a day, like we have, right? You you at some point are repeating a level of decision making that you've already done before because you're already comfortable with it. But you keep moving forward, and then you're like, okay, I've been at a similar decision making point like this in the past, and I chose, you know what I'm saying, option one, two, or three.
Right.
Let me try option two this time around, you know?
Yeah. Let me make another decision so I
Let
could
me make
maybe
another decision.
progress.
Yeah, because I've already seen this exercise. I've
Yeah. I
already
feel
seen
what you're saying.
it. So like I'm looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? Because like now you operating off of experience
Right.
versus originally when you operate off of ambition, and it's just ambition just fueled by nothing but motivation because you want something aspirationally. It's like if I believe it, I can achieve it. Yeah, that's cool. But how passionate are you going to be about the small stuff? Like, are you going to want to do it on the days that you really don't want to do it?
That's that discipline.
Come on now.
That's that discipline. Doing shit that you don't want to do, but you got to do.
Yeah. So, like with that said, I got to hit the intro.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Code Talk Evening Show. And I'm here today as your host, Victor Vinciant, with my partner over here, the angry guy that's still learning,
Damn
across the
right.
table, Christopher McClellan, and the infamous Antoine, the other artist, just popped backstage. And so I'm going to give him a second to collect his bearing because I know he's going to come up here and say, "Are we live?"
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and, like my man he got to make an entrance. So I got to give
Yeah.
him, you know what I'm saying, his red carpet debut,
Right.
And without further ado.
That's wrong, man.
Yeah, you like that, huh? Yeah.
That's wrong.
Oh shoot. He went straight
Yes,
ponytail again.
yes.
He went
What's the
straight
heck, man?
ponytail. Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Here
He
we
got
go.
he got that hair pulled back. It's gonna be like WWF today.
Right.
WWE. Yeah. What's going on, Antoine? How you doing?
Sorry for my tardiness. Sorry about that.
It's all good. We've just opened up the conversation about just having a better Wolfpack. That's what this really is about. This episode, like, because everybody starts off with a grand picture of what they think a Wolfpack is. We talk about this all the time, from elevated dialogue to what I'm saying, just your regular local circle, your networking circles, your business circle. All of this stuff has a different you part of a different hierarchy in every smaller community, right? And the only way it functions is if you got some guidelines and you got people that respect the boundaries and people that respect the guidelines and move a certain type of way to not bring shame upon the group, right?
Right.
And in order for this to work, we have to separate the right men from everybody else.
Yep.
Like there's only, put it like this, there's only the right men. Nothing else. And you can narrow that down. You know how I do it, one of two ways. You know what I'm saying? Well, what makes a man adequate? What makes a man a man? What makes him masculine? What makes him, reliable? And you either gonna choose a disciplined man or an undisciplined man. which is what this particular episode, this platform is dedicated to establishing boundaries for accountable masculinity. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of clones. There's a lot of people that are fire breathing, you know what I'm saying, hate spewers. There's a wide variation of people wearing masks about what's masculine and what's adequate and what's, you know what I'm saying, what's respectable, you know? And we can't rely on anybody else other than self to be able to recognize the threat. See, this is about recognizing what's the greatest threats to, you know, like you becoming who you're supposed to be, choosing the right people, vetting quality people, and establishing expiration dates when it comes down to certain relationships, boundaries, constantly being refined, you know? So in this discussion today and going forward, 2024 solutions only here on the Code Talk platform, okay? And in this, we have to clean house. There's been a whole gender war over here, some fallout, some people venting, people trying to get therapy, people trying to, you know what I'm saying, reconstitute themselves and really see where they are. And in that, you got to redefine the space you have to operate in. Chris says multiple times he had to get out of the dating pool, you know what I'm saying? And then when he got out of the dating pools, clarity changed. He said, maybe I got to move, you know what I'm saying? You got to change your zip code. You have to put that, you know what I'm saying, to work. Antoine, you've been around the same way, you know what I'm saying, to get to the place that gives you the best soil to become the best version of yourself and that complements your talents and your skills. All of us are doing that in the creative space, you know? And in that, you lose people and you gain people, but you never stop having to vet people. So we got to vet better because there's some people out there that misrepresent what you are. And that's what the last 3 episodes were. That's what everything we're doing. We're debunking these negative stereotypes and tropes that do not align with the way that we think. That's what this podcast is about. And so today we are going to play a little bit of house cleaning. We are going to distinguish further the threats that men have to navigate long before they are even ready to support someone else, to carry a family, to, you know, go beyond being able to just take care of self. Because a lot of men are not able to take care of themselves before they bring in, you know, someone else. And that's very important too, because a lot of the confusion, a lot of the chaos that go on in households across America, it's not just the conversation about accountability that involves both parties. It's about ultimately who has to have the utmost accountability in order to right the ship, in order to correct and protect. And that's why I believe that, yeah, women should be held accountable for whatever they got going on, but we expect more accountability from men no matter what, because it's fewer of us in positions of significant influence and respect when it could be more. And there's a bunch of men that's recognizing their value and they're making the adjustments and they're manifesting, you know, a better version of themselves so they can attract the respect that they endeavor, because I believe that men live their lives chasing respect the same way women chase love and affection. So in order to do that the right way, you have to be aware of your environment. You got to understand that not everybody cares for you, and you have to do your own work because nobody else is responsible for your mental health, your physical health, and the value that you believe that you have within your community if you don't do the work. So this is part of the work. And I just wanted to be able to say that before we move on, you know. So today, we're going to talk about the wrong men. The wrong men. from behavior aspects, because everything pivots off of that. What you got, brother?
You mentioned men understanding their value. I think men are starting to actually understand that they have value to begin with. You understand what I'm saying? More than understanding it, we're just now getting the fact that no matter what position that we are in, we have value. But if we add on top of what we already have, we will be more valuable to the group. And I think that's kind of where we need to start. Everybody knows I read a lot of Jordan Peterson. He always talks about cleaning your room. Start by cleaning your room. If you can clean your room, you can clean your house. If you can clean your house, you might be able to clean up your neighborhood. If you can clean up your neighborhood, you might be able to expand farther. But it all starts with self. Clean your room.
I agree with that. What you got, Antoine?
Well, personally, I mean, I think anybody that enters your life has to serve a purpose. Well, that's why they're there. They serve a purpose as a good friend. As you get older, your friends disappear. The ones that you take into longevity, those are the ones you really lean on. I don't think at a certain age anybody should be in your life if they don't serve a purpose. What are they there for? You ain't need them for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You don't exactly you don't exactly look forward to their phone call. That's how it has to be as you get older, and you have to be willing to let people go.
Take the L.
Take the L. I mean, what L are you really losing though? Because they don't serve a purpose. Well, I mean, you got to have a lot of acquaintances, but you should only have a handful of friends.
I understand what you're saying, but this is the phase where I'm at, because I had a lot of people in my life that I thought were there for me, and I thought that actually like loved me and wanted to see me do good, but then I found out that they wanted to see me do good, just not better than them. And losing somebody that you held in such a high regard at the time, but later on in life, you're starting to understand, like, man, this person really wasn't there like I thought they were. It's kind of it sucks and it hurts. You understand what I'm saying? It hurts. And I think that's the part of the game that nobody talks about. Like what you said is very, very simple. If they are not in your life to serve a purpose to push you forward, then why are they there? But the L's that you take along the way when you think people are actually in your life and you think that they care about you, and you come to find out that they don't, and that shit hurt. It hurts. And I think people don't dive into that.
Yeah, but you can't really listen. You only know how loyal somebody is when they get tested. Before that, it's just it's what you think of them. But until they get tested, you don't really know them, right? And
right.
And if they get tested and they fail,
and that's the part that sucks.
No, you should be celebrating you found out now than later on. It's like finding out your best man at your best wedding really wasn't down with you. He was actually looking to get with your wife. I mean, so you have to look at the purpose a person serves. I never look at it as I lost somebody. I'm like, okay, thank God I found out now before I loaned him money, brought him into my home, brought him into my inner circle, introduced him to people, before he made me look bad. You'll only know people until you're at a certain age, of course. And at a certain age, you'll only know people when you test them. Right. And a test will come along. A test will come along for everybody in life. I believe that. Your life has a way of shaping the people around you. It really does.
Yeah, you'll find out who will really stand.
I have no problem if people lose. I have no problem. Really don't care if you like me. Really don't care. I got to do me.
I'm starting to build that bone up.
Yeah, I don't care.
Starting to build that bone up.
I don't care. I got enough friends. I don't need more. I'm good. You don't have to like me. I don't want you to like me. But are we doing business together? Because I want the check. We don't know. I want that check. You know what I mean? I don't like all my clients, but I love when they sign that check. They're my best friend.
I ain't mad at you.
You know what I mean? They're my best friend. And I think that's the way people need to, especially with the way people are today. I mean, people are so emotional and they get so riled up into the social media shit, and they think that speck of dust on the screen means something. Like everybody has a Ferrari, everybody has come on, man.
Or
Really?
that person
You
that
know,
liked your picture really,
you know
really
how
likes
much
you.
exactly. You know, when people tell me, "Oh, I want to make 100K, oh, I want to make 8," do you really know how much money that is? That's a lot of freaking money, bro. That's a lot of money. Do you really know what you're saying when you say you want a man making 100K, or you want a girl being a certain way? A lot of fucking money. So I always say to people, you know, be realistic. Have realistic friends. It's good when all the friends that you have coming up, as long as they keep their goals coming up. But the ones that drop as the wayside, you can't take everybody with you, man. You really can't, and you shouldn't. You can't carry that load. That's way too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's okay. It's okay if it's okay if I believe it's okay if you don't like me. One less person to worry about. It's okay. I don't need you to like me. If you serve a certain purpose, yes, I need you to like me. But at the end of the day, I'm still gonna have my best friend. I'm still gonna have my wolf pack. I'm still gonna have my family. I think if I was married with kids, I'd be even worse. Cause now I don't have to come on. I'd be even worse.
You know, I think you grade people in their proximity to you based on, you know, you have to do it based on your current circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might be the person that's got a lot going on and you might not be helpful to others. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying, put some distance between you and everybody else because you gotta be mindful of other people, you know, and that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah,
you
my
don't
crew
know.
is real good with that. My crew is real good with that. My crew knows that I disappear a
Yeah,
lot because I go through a lot of stuff. And I don't want to bring what I'm going through into what they got going on, even though they've already opened up the door and said, "Hey, if you need me, I'm here." Like, I get that, but you got your own stuff to worry about. And I don't want to burden you with what I got going on when I can just map it out and handle it. I'll come back when I'm ready. And most of the time they'd be like, "All right, take your time." And then when I come back, it's like we never left.
man, look, that type of respect for your boundaries, like it's euphoric when you really think about it because you go out into the world and you base your connection. That's how you grade everybody else. That's, you know, like when you got a solid unit of guys that can share information, encourage each other, whatever. It makes it real easy to vet people. You know what I'm saying, as they present themselves, if they're trying to be honest with you, or you know, you got something to grade them off of, because if they don't fit the level of protection that you got around the, you know, that you get from the people that actually respect you, you know when you're being disrespected, you know when you're being manipulated, you know when you somebody's competing with you, and those let you know if those are the right men or the wrong men to be around, you know, because whatever your parents try to teach you, one of the lessons that most black men got: everybody ain't your friend. You know what I'm saying? And it's iterated in such a way that, you know, you can hear the tone.
It's like cut and dry.
It's cut dry.
It's
It's
like cut
like
and dry.
it's so deliberate. They're really telling you that whoever you hanging around right now ain't good for the house. Ain't good for. They already see the threat. They already see the boundaries that can be crossed, because it doesn't take much for the wrong person to get for you to invest in the wrong person.
And to be real, you might be that person.
You might be that person.
That's a part of the game that a lot of people don't get either. Like, you might be that person that other person's parent is looking about like, "Hey man, he not supposed to be in your life like that."
Yeah,
Understand what I'm saying? He got a little growing to do. So I mean, you could still be cool with him. Yeah, but I highly would recommend against bringing him into your life. I've been that person.
yeah,
That you know what I'm saying? So I see both sides of it. I
Yeah,
see both sides of it.
you grow out of people. You grow out of it. You grow out of that certain person in your life. You know, you grew up. He didn't. You know, you grew up straight. He grew up crooked. After a while, you got to cut him loose. Okay, it's great that you know that he does what he does, and you don't care about what he does for business, right? I'd rather be, you know, he hustles or whatever it is. But the day that hustle comes to your front door, you got to be willing to say, "Don't ever come back here again."
Yeah, you gotta go. You can't bring that street shit to my
Yeah,
crib.
don't ever. And are you willing to say that? Right? Are men strong enough to say that? Most find it difficult, and I like why. It serves you no purpose and it hurts you and it's bringing you down. When they say the captain goes down with the ship, fuck that. I'm jumping on a lifeboat. I'm living to sail the next ship. That's what I'm saying. I don't care what that crap is.
See,
No, no, no.
I'm gonna say is difficult because of the attachment. But
Hmm.
like I said, with what you were talking about, I'm building that bone. Like, okay, the attachment is there, but where you are right now, what you are doing right now, might mess around and hurt me, and I can't have you in my life if it hurts me. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Can I say something to you, Chris, as an advice? You should only have attachments to people that are your immediate family. The other ones, you should. That's my attachments are only to my family. My loyalty, utmost dying loyalty, I would lie for them is to my family. My main attachments is to my family. Next comes my pool, my pool, my wolf pack. But my attachments, as in attachment, that's my family. Ain't getting outside of that. And you know what? My wife's an attachment. If should I be married to her, yeah, she'll be an attachment, but she can be replaced. But my family, my brother, my mom, dad, nah,
But
that's
see,
my attachment.
I understand what you're saying from constructive. I've seen family that actually love each other and will
Right,
do
right.
anything
That's
for
what I'm
each other.
speaking from.
My family is different, so I
Okay,
can't have that type of attachment to my family because
right.
like when we were talking before about loyalty and things like that, like I don't do blind loyalty anymore because of my family, because I've only seen the abusive narcissistic, you need to do what I say because we're family type of loyalty, not the type of loyalty that actually betters me as a man. So I have to actually view those attachments through the lens of, is this attachment going to help me, or if this attachment is going to hurt me? Understand what I'm saying? I got
Mhm.
friends that I view as family more than my own family, if that makes any sense.
Then
So
what I'm getting from what you're saying is, I feel that your attachment will come from when you build your own family.
I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah,
that.
I don't
I've
think your
heard that.
attachment will come. I think your growing will come from other people and the situations and circumstances. But I think your attachment, from what I'm getting, since you didn't have it like I had it, I think it'd be the attachment you build for yourself. And then you become attached to that. And that's what your solid base of attachment will be, in my opinion, of
But see,
course.
that's your opinion is valid because I've heard that before. But that's
Mm.
why I said in the beginning that I got to clean my own room, which means I got to get all of this out of my system before I even think about doing that, because I can't bring nobody into this. That's the part of accountability that I've been dealing with for the past decade and some change. Dealing with the fact that I got all of this shit that I got to deal with before I even out of me. You understand what I'm saying? So I got to figure this out first.
Then I think that, like, if I was to give you that brotherly advice, I'd say you need a new island. I think you need a new island.
That's the goal.
I think you definitely need a new island. Like I said, I don't have no problem. I don't have no problem going into the ghetto, but I'd like to be able to drive into it. I don't want to live next to it.
Go through it, but not
I,
stay.
I don't even need to go through it. I need a reason to go to it. I need a
Well,
reason to go through it. I mean,
man,
want that, that hard liquor, that crap talk.
well, sometimes you got to go through together to get downtown to the big cities and the big lights.
Nah, I'll take the scenic route. I'm okay with that. I'll take the
Oh,
scenic.
you'll take the scenic route,
I'll take
go
the
around the
scenic. Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'll do the
have
long.
Siri reroute you.
I'll pay the large Uber to go around that
I
shit.
feel you.
I don't
I
want
ain't
to see
mad
that.
at you. I ain't mad
Yeah,
at you. But yeah, man,
I'll
like I
spend the
said,
extra
man,
money. I'll spend the extra money to go around it. It's okay. I'm good. You
right.
know.
But see, I talk a lot about cleaning my room because that's where a lot of people don't go. A lot of people think that something external is going to help them deal with their internal nonsense. I mean, you might have people that come into your life that'll tell you you got some internal nonsense to deal with, and they might lend an ear to it, but I got to do it. They can't do it for me. They might be able to guide me, but they can't do it for me. And and that's why I like this topic about right and wrong men. Like, a lot of men want to look outside to blame somebody else for their circumstance, when directly or indirectly everything is the man's fault, and the man itself has to deal with it. You understand what I'm saying? I have to deal with this. I can't ask nobody else to deal with this for me. You can help me through it maybe, but at a core I got to do this. This is on me.
Yeah,
Thank you for your help,
but I would
but
say if you have friends, like, listen, I'm one to put shit on people, so I that's how I feel. Because I don't, if I know nothing about accounting, I'm not racking my brain thinking about it, bro. I need you on this one. I am not thinking. If I have a situation, I have girls that are my friends, right? They serve a purpose as my friends because I think they give me the best advice about other women, right? And they're able to comment, they're able to give me the feedback on me and what I'm doing wrong or or the right thing to text. I'll even go down to the basic right thing to text because maybe I'll come across too aggressive. And they serve a purpose I won't even say wolf pack because there ain't no girl belonging in wolf pack, but that's me. But they serve a purpose in my life in that way. And I have no problem leaning on them because I don't want to bust my brains. You got more important things Chris, to do. And I don't look at all the friends I have. I don't look at them and go, oh, I don't want to put this on this guy. He's got a wife. Oh, hell no. That's why he's my friend. What else is he good for? Bro.
And that's the part that I got to deal with. And that's the part that I got to deal with. All of my friends have said the door is open, but I have been so separated and away because I know I got friends, but I'm struggling with the fact that, man, if I can't even trust the people that I claim are my family, how can I know that they're there and they keep telling me that they're there and I know I should trust them, but how do I turn that on? You understand what I'm saying? That's really what I'm dealing with right now. I know I got crew, and maybe that's a bone, maybe that's a muscle that I need to start working out. Maybe I just need to just start doing it. But
yeah, I mean,
it's difficult. It's difficult when you've been doing something for so long.
And is that ego? Is that ego, or that's just trust issues?
Though? It's not ego because I don't have one. I've been through too much to have one. Listen, man, you already know what I've been through. I can't have an ego.
I get you, but I'm just asking.
Man, I can't have an ego after I've been through what I've been through. But it's not ego. It's more along the lines of, I know they have other things to do, and I guess you would say it's a trust, but it's not me trusting them. It's me trusting me to trust them. If that makes any sense.
Well, I'll tell you this. I hate when people tell me this, and you just said it. I hate when people say, "Well, Antoine, I know you're busy. You gotta this." Don't tell me what I'm doing in my life when you're not even next to me. You don't know what the shit I'm doing. Don't determine what I'm doing. Let's focus on what you need. Because if you determine, you don't know. So it's for you to say, "Hey, that person, I know he's got other shit going on. I know he's got a wife and kid." When I say that, I remember my friend told me that, and I started changing to how he thought because he goes, "Antoine, they're my wife and they're my kids. I know how to balance them. All I need to know is what you need and what time. Because you don't tell me where my wife and families are. I know where they are." And I was like, shit, you know what? He's right. And so I got that habit from him. I'm not going to take credit for that one. So it's not for you to determine, I know they got shit to do. Everybody's got shit to do. There's never a good time to tell somebody bad news. A good time is when you think about it. Because the timing ain't going to change the news.
Bad news is the time. Hey? Bad news just get worse with time. You know what I'm saying? When it goes unaddressed.
And then it festers in you. And then
I got to deal with something else on top of what I already see.
Exactly.
And that's why I said that's why I said that this is a muscle that I gotta learn how to build. It's this doing things like that is like the first 30 days in the gym. It sucks when you do that in the first 30 days, but once you build that muscle, it gets easier. I have to start building that
muscle. Chris, you were flexing on camera and shit, reaching for stuff. You were
going right, and you know, and you know what? And you know what? I'm back. I had my first session this morning. After all of these months, I had my first session. We're gonna start seeing them
videos again. We're gonna start seeing them videos again.
Nah, because I've seen too many. The gym that I'm at, they've seen too many of those gym creep videos, so they just banned filming altogether, which is a beautiful thing because everybody in there can work out, and they have like a designated spot where you can actually take pictures and pose that's closed off from the whole workout area. So you
were at 5 a.m. Nobody was there for you. You were like
at the gym that I'm at. The people are there at 5 a.m. because they have the same mindset that I have. Let's get it over with.
But your videos, there was nobody ever behind you.
I don't go to that same gym.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I had to switch gyms. Yeah. I had to switch gyms.
So all of that was a great segue to the next point that's up on the screen. Men's accountability has to be higher than a woman's accountability.
Not higher, different.
We can go with that.
I would say it has to start before we even think about holding women accountable. So how can we tell a woman
Different,
how?
man.
I get it. It is different,
Yeah, it's
but we
different.
still have. We gotta have it first. We gotta be accountable first. I can't tell you
Uh,
what I can't tell you what to do if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. If I'm supposed to be the quote unquote lead,
but Chris, if there's nobody in your life, who are you first in front of? Nobody.
me. So that means I gotta hold myself accountable first.
Yeah, so you're not. So to say it's first, you're not. You're first, of course. There's only you. First comes
Exactly.
so there's no second. So there's no first. There's no second. It's just you.
But and that's the point.
Zero
When
is
I
not a
give,
number. Although some would argue that it is.
but one is, and it's not a prime or an even number. I am the one, meaning
Hmm.
I got to take care of me first, and I got to hold myself accountable first, and I got to have a structure first if I'm going to
Exactly.
bring another
I
person
agree.
into my structure. So that's why I said it starts with me. You understand what I'm saying?
But it
How is
will
she?
always start
How
with
would
you.
say that again?
It, it will always start with you, Chris. In the airplane, they tell you put your mask on first before the person next to you. It
Which
will.
proves my point.
That's life. Why do people think you have to share that part? I will never. I
Because it
come
is not
first.
common. I'm telling you, Antoine, it is not common knowledge. You got this early. I got this 30 years too late.
Right. Right.
So I can understand your frustration with having to even have this conversation. But
Mm.
I'm one of the 80% of the men in our community that you have to have this conversation with because we didn't have that structure that you had. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
And I want to say that I'm glad I had that because I had a father in the home, so that's what gave it to us. But either that
And
or a
that's a
belt.
game changer. And you
Either that
actually
or a
had a
belt.
and to keep it real, hearing how you talk about him, you hold him in such a high regard that doing anything to disappoint him would lightweight hurt you. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
We as at the group of men that I fall into never had that type of fatherly masculine figure that if we disappointed it would hurt. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So yes, this is a conversation that needs to be had because a group of us never had this. You got a head start. You
Mhm.
got a head start on a lot of us. A lot of us are getting this information too late, and we just now getting it. And now we're trying to give this information to the younger group because our OGs failed us.
Right. I see. I can understand that, but I think if I'm giving you the, and I always like to say brotherly advice because that's the only way I want to talk to you as brotherly advice. I think that I think you need to be selfish and not care, and
That's
not.
another
You know
muscle I
what?
need to start working out.
Yeah, you need to be selfish. It's like when you're at the gym, people say, "Oh, I don't want to ask that guy." If I just go and ask, brother, what's he gonna tell me? No, I'm gonna say, "Why is it yours?" And what is he gonna tell me, bro? I'm working out here. Yeah, but then work out, but don't look at your phone. And I'm gonna make my way to the right because I can't wait for you to do what you need to do if it's a public place, right? If
Right.
you're saying Chris's shrine is who Chris is and who Chris wants to be in life, and who Chris wants to share with things with, is Chris. I think you need to say it's okay to be selfish. It's okay.
That's where I
Chris, not
am right
everybody's
now.
gonna like you, and you don't want everybody to like you. I wouldn't want everybody to like me. That means it's less people I have to worry about. That's great.
I
You know what I
completely
mean?
agree.
If you, I think the way people become stronger, have inner strength, like my father says, and I'll quote my father and says, "Son, in order for you to have inner strength, you have to not care what people say about you. So when they walk away, you don't feel bad. They walked away. That's it. They're gone. You can't control what other people do." And I'm like, you know what, Dad, you're right. He goes, you crying over this? What are you crying for? You should be crying that you lost.
But see, listen to the first part of that statement. You said, I am going to quote my father.
Right.
Not many of us can say, I'm going to quote my father. You understand what I'm saying? It's
And
more
I
along
did.
the lines of, I got to quote this woman that I've been up under who really don't know what I'm going through because she's not me and I can't move like her because I'm not her. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
This is all information that we as a collective are getting late. So yes, it does start with us. Yes, it is okay to be selfish because I'm in my selfish stage right now too. That's why I said I don't do blind loyalty no more. I ask questions because I got shit that I need to do before I can even think about helping you. I'm in my self
That
yeah,
right there. Yeah.
I'm in my selfish stage. And here's another thing that men who are in my position also need to understand. It's going to feel like it is borderline disrespectful because you feel like, and I'm using the word feel because a lot of us weren't taught to think. We were taught to feel. A lot of us are going to feel like we're disrespecting the person that brought us into this world by doing what we need to do as men to progress as a man. I'm over that. I'm completely over that. I know I need to do this. And if me doing this makes you feel like I'm disrespecting you as a mom, that's a you problem. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so I would say this. See, you say since you come from a single mother, I would say this, right? I always say, people that come from single parents have the longest umbilical cord known to man. Right? That umbilical cord stays with you forever. When because men cut the umbilical cord. Man, women just extend it.
But see,
Right?
and you're right. You're right.
Right? So you have that mentality of coming from a single mother. So that umbilical cord is still there, right? And don't get me wrong, she will be the most important person in your life, no matter if she's good or bad. Because my mother is the most important woman in my life.
I still love her. I still love her.
Listen,
but what sucks is I had to cut my own umbilical cord. And when I cut my own umbilical cord, it felt to her like I was being disrespectful because I cut my own umbilical cord, meaning I need to separate myself from you so that way I can grow as a man. Because if I'm still here under you, I will never reach the potential that I need to reach. And I'm already 20 years behind because I've been attached to you for so long, thinking that I need to be attached to you to grow. And I don't. I got to get the fuck up out of here.
But I say, like, if you're going to cut the umbilical cord, which is the right thing to do, I always say you should at least, and not only with mothers, I believe it's with everybody. If you cut an umbilical cord from somebody, you cut that friendship with somebody, you should have the exact words to tell them why you're cutting it and and then you should have that inner I don't care part to walk away. Because you already stated to them why, right? Because, if you end a relationship with someone, it's not really the relationship that hurts that you're ending. It's the feelings that was behind.
Yeah, it's the attachment.
Yeah, the attachment is the feelings. The relationship, you really don't give a shit. Because if something hotter, sweeter, fresher came along, you be on that, like, right?
But see,
it's the attachment, dude. The attachment, the growing pains, and all that sort of
shit. But even when it, like in my case, is family, I still love them. They still my family. My phone number hasn't changed in 15 years. If they need me, they can call me. But I gotta go away because I need to do this. I can't be around y'all in my current state because I am not conducive to the growth of the group in my current state. I gotta go. Don't be mad at me for leaving, and don't think that I'm being antisocial or hateful for doing it.
But do you really care if they think like that, though?
When it's family, yes and no. Yes, because they family.
That's the part I'm talking about.
But see, here's the thing, though. Yes, I do because they're family, but no, I don't because yes, you family, but I still got to do this regardless. So I can't really give a fuck about how you feel about what I'm doing. I can care a little bit about if I'm hurting you for leaving because I gotta go because you losing that attachment, but that's a you problem. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I still gotta go.
But that's then you have to listen. I don't like a simple analogy. I don't like ice cream on cake. I don't like icing on cake, right? But I still have to get to the cake part. So I have to cut to the cake. I have to cut through the icing to get to the cake, then wipe the icing off, then eat my cake because I can't stand icing.
You don't like icing on cake?
Can't stand icing on. It serves no purpose. It serves no purpose, right?
It's Canadian.
So, yeah.
I just want to step in and say Canadian.
Just cut, right? I can't stand icing. When I see a birthday cake,
Trinidadian.
Man, you give me chocolate icing on a chocolate cake.
When I see icing on a birthday cake, I'm like, God damn, I got it.
You just lost.
Then they're gonna see me wiping it off. And then I gotta separate the two in between. I gotta take that one off, and then I gotta separate the next one, take that one off. I'm just thinking how many layers I gotta do this for, right?
I get what you're saying, man.
But at that time I'm doing it, and before I used to care. Now I don't care if they see me doing it. And now when they ask me, you don't like the cake? I said, no, I just don't like the icing. Because I don't care no more. And I think I know they're your family. I know, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. So you have to not care, I believe, in order for you to grow. Because you have to, in order to build that not caring, you got to grow. And in order to grow, You gotta not care.
Right. You can't. I get that. You can't have
You
one.
can't do
You can't
both.
have
You
one
gotta
without
pick
the other.
one.
It's
You can't
just
have one without the other.
you can't have one without the other. You can
Yeah.
you can recognize one and not embrace it. You have
Right.
to recognize it because that's like all of these conversations are really just about redefining your boundaries. That's ultimately what it is. Because you're the same person. You just got to find the right mindset that amount to what you truly believe about yourself. If you believe about yourself, if there's a higher version of yourself that you believe in, then your current footsteps are going to be oriented to the direction of where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? Like if your goal is in the east and you're facing the west, you got to turn around. You got to look the opposite direction, right? So
Right.
because all you have in life is the sum of your decisions. Like your outcomes tell a way different type of story collectively about a whole bunch of decisions that you made. Like you know, like when people say decisions were made, you
Yeah.
know, good, bad, and different, right? And and that's going to reflect the overall character assessment of who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because dumb things happen to everybody, whether you're disciplined or undisciplined. But the road to recovery from those things and learning and you know making better decisions going forward is much different for an undisciplined person than it is a disciplined person. If you've never been in a gym before, because we use gym analogies and everything before, right? Well,
Mhm.
even like a car, right? If I presented you with a car that I say you want and you can have, if you could drive it, if you don't know how to drive a manual transmission,
What use is the car?
what use is the car?
Yep.
So, but if you say somebody gave me a car and it's up to me to develop the skill to operate it, then you're gonna do it. So you got to determine how bad you really want what you say you want. Because the things that you want, if done in a healthy way, require discipline. You cannot get what you're supposed to have in a healthy way by living an undisciplined life and making a string of undisciplined decisions. You can take some chances here and there, of course. You know, there's always going to be some risk involved.
Mhm.
But what you do in the face of adversity or the reaction to the unseen and how you adapt to what happens to you, that's the only thing that you own. It's your five senses and your reaction. And you need to be evaluating those same things in the people that come in and out of your life where you have to operate within a certain proximity of. Because that's going to be the boundary that's going to make you say, that's a cool person in this setting. You deal with them in certain settings. You got to itemize it because you're going to have to deal with people because people are going to have to deal with you.
Yeah.
So you have to make room, like Antoine conveniently says sometimes, if we can make some money together, I could put the attitude to the side. We could do business.
Mhm.
You could put the biases in the right box. And in general, you're gonna have to do that a lot more if you really want something, because you don't know, you know what I'm saying, like who's responsible or who can affect your outcomes, because you're gonna have to deal with people. So it's very important that we identify the right people because like we try to, I think sometimes we conflate income with character. I think by and large, we'll bypass somebody's character, not us per se, but generally speaking, the average person that doesn't read people, they just read, you know, like what they see, the vanity of a person. They'll bypass their character because of a materialistic reason or something that they can just align with that's really shallow, you know, something they feel like leaves room for them to be part of the association. But when
Mhm.
you take away money, cars, kids, you know, all these things these possessions, who is that individual? What happens when there's a bit of adversity? You know, how do they respond? How do they react? And that's really who they are in survival mode. And that's going to tell you what the boundary is for those particular people. And in the worst case scenario, are men sitting back collectively being dependent on a woman's accountability for us to make the decision that benefits all of us? Are we making women responsible for our personal safety? This is why a man's accountability has to be higher than a woman's accountability, for the same reason that we want to hold public officials, politicians, the police, first responders, anybody that's in that community, we generally hold them to a higher standard as a public servant, do we not?
Yep.
Well, who makes up the population, the majority of the population of the public service? Is it men or women?
Men.
So are men not, you know what I'm saying, like intrinsically held to a higher standard overall?
Again, that's
No, I'm thinking about are like generally
you're
speaking,
talking about, wait, if you're talking about structure, if you're talking about
I'm just saying general perception of men, are men not generally held to a higher standard than women?
Across the board in that.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the point.
That's
Everything has to happen. If you're talking about men are supposed to lead, then the leaders are held to a different level of accountability than the followers.
Well, I believe men are supposed to see. That's where I go different with everybody else. Men are supposed to lead within their own household, not outside of that.
Well, of course we're talking
lead
about
only
this.
within your own household. You ain't leading me as a man.
But my point is this right here. If you don't have it in your household, you're not going to have it in the world. So,
I don't believe that. Your household is totally separate.
What I'm saying is this right here. You have to repeat a certain type of leadership, and you start at home, right? And then whatever you refine at home, of course, it doesn't automatically translate to every single thing you do, depending on what your home structure looks like. But I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, men have to lead in a household first, because
that's a different type of. Listen, you get your household is a certain area you lead in, and I even question that, because you do lead in your household, but I say you play a role in your household, but you do lead it. But outside of your household, you ain't leading nothing, because you're going to work for somebody else. You're going to do things for somebody else. You ain't lead. Now you're leading how you get there. You're leading how you handle yourself. You're leading how you interact with that person. You're leading how you correlate with. You're leading all that sort of stuff. Yes, within your own little sphere. But in reality, what a man leads is his household, right? He doesn't lead outside of the world. He ain't the president, right? And even the president at the end of the day goes home and leaves his house, but still, he's leading the people. That's his role. But in general, yes, men across the board have it harder in that, because we are looked upon for that kind of like blanket of cover.
Yep.
Right? I mean, the majority of our air forces, the majority of our army and all that sort of stuff is men. And that's not saying women can't do the job. I'm not saying that at all, but we had that responsibility in the front line, and I ain't even in the army, but I know that much.
Yeah.
Right?
I think, and to your point, which goes back to what I'm saying here, is men's accountability has to be higher than a woman's accountability. It's because if we fail, nothing works.
Yeah. In that perspective, absolutely.
Period. That is the overall. Like, I'm starting at the top. Like we're the first covering in the flesh.
Right.
Like whatever, no matter the age, race, creed, color, religious alignment, after whatever metaphysical connection that people have, the spiritual connection and everything, it's generally accepted that men are the first point of defense.
Absolutely.
Structure. We're supposed to start the structure. You can't create structure and protection. You can't create protection or standards without structure.
Right.
So this is why I say a man's accountability has to be higher than a woman's. That is just the bottom line, because you don't get with a woman so she can create structure for you. That's crazy.
No, but I was the first to tell you that's why you never move into a woman's house.
And that's why, like, when you start talking about the right and wrong men, you just brought up moving into a woman's house. Yeah. Generally speaking, those men are not they don't make up the majority of the right men. Those are the first men that if something is a point of contention about who's doing the most in a relationship, if
Right.
that's the case, that man is not going to be not be regarded the same way as a man that has his own and he was able to provide for others. You know what I'm saying? That look to his protection.
Right.
If he needs something and she's the one that's responsible for the structure, how he makes decisions on behalf of the household is always up for some level of negotiation and debate. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
because if she was able to create the same space for him to come into, then she's gonna always be like, why do I need to listen to you? See what I'm saying? Because you can't lead. You can only lead based off your resources. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say you can't have the least amount of resources and think you can make the rules. Because at some point, if somebody doesn't like your idea, like this is the thing, in a lead and follow situation, everybody's not going to necessarily agree in principle. Well, they might agree in principle, but not like the execution. Chris might not like the fact that we might have, like, let's say we took a vote on something, right? Chris want to talk about this, Antoine want to talk about that, and then I say, and then I got the yay or nay. You know what I'm saying? At the end of it, and I choose either side. You know what I'm saying? For what's appropriate. You could be like, damn, I don't like that, but you still gotta, you know what I'm saying? We still gotta support what the overall goal is, because all of our ideas are aimed at the same thing. And sometimes whatever topic that might come up might be a subtopic to a larger picture. Some, you know what I'm saying? Which one is more important? But they're both important, right?
Mm-hmm.
But which one creates the easiest path for us to say, this is why we're having this conversation? You know what I'm saying? Because the overall point, which set of questions serves the overall point of supporting men, right? Because ultimately, if a man's accountability has to be higher, then we need to have a conversation that serves that.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to avoid the things that takes us on tangents that could be just, you know what I'm saying, good material otherwise, you know. But if the number one purpose is for us to capture the essence of why men have to be more accountable with their decision making, it's because we have to hold each other accountable first. We have to hold ourselves accountable first, because we don't know every single nook and cranny that women's conversations can go into that allows them to justify whatever degree of accountability they have. Because no matter what they say out of it, when they come out of their hibernation or their meditation or whatever, we still got different rules that we're governed by. Different policies, both written and unwritten, that are more likely to happen to us than them.
And a heavier hammer that comes
And
down
a
on us
heavier
when
hammer.
we can't do what we need to do.
Like those videos when we was looking at last week, like think about the guy, he went to prison for 5 years.
Yeah. They don't want to do that.
Yeah, and they're not gonna hold that woman accountable that way. That, like, there's countless incidents like that. This is stuff that's documented legally. So now
no doubt about it, Vic. We have the biggest brunt of the blow.
Exactly.
No doubt, but rightfully deserved. We're more dense, we're bigger, we're stronger, we're smarter, in a certain way. We just build better. It's just that's part of being a man, right?
We're more exploitable.
We're more exploitable, right?
Easy to forget. Easy to hide.
You know, and we're willing to take that. We're willing to take those blows for the outcomes we want.
And that's part of why I've been focused on discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because if a man can avoid, you know, like some of these things in no random order, right? Issues that involve the police. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever issue you could think of that occurs on a regular basis that you know about that can bring the police into your life. You want to avoid people that connect you to those things a lot faster. Period.
Right.
If you can avoid, which goes down into these other things that fit the police into your life, hurting kids, you know, DUI.
Yeah, man, like, do you know what they do to dudes in prison that hurt kids and hurt women?
I saw a documentary on that. I was like,
oh my God.
And they're gonna nail you to the floor. with all kind of time. Because think about the things, false allegations, stuff that didn't even happen gets men locked up. So these things happen to both good, disciplined men and undisciplined men. But who has more of an opportunity to either recover or also be a victim of false allegations or mischaracterization or just being simply railroad? Because you can make up anything. You can you can get enough noise generated in a certain direction that it can trigger legal investigations into nothing.
Right.
And you could be the victim the whole time and nobody cares. And so now you're paying for legal representation for something that never even occurred. But if you can't afford it, then you must have had something to do with it. Must be some truth to it, even though it's completely false.
Right.
So you're in a different type of game with a different type of set of circumstances where you're more overexposed than you think. So because of that, I am framing this discussion say, hey, you need to have a little degree of paranoia with you because it's real easy to have to deal with the law. It's real easy for somebody to make up anything about you with a couple of different clips on on some videos without ever having a conversation with you. And then you'll be getting the same energy that someone that is more deserving of it has earned. So in general, I think when I make this statement, it's not a tit for tat statement. It's so you don't have to operate in a tit for tat. Because if you hold yourself up here, the issues that happen amongst the people that are invested in complaining, invested in being disruptive, undisciplined people, you don't have to fit into neither one of those boxes. They can't box you in. You can like, oh, I don't fit the behavior, so that's completely not my business, so I don't even have to engage. So that's ultimately what I'm saying is that we have to divest from conversations with people that don't move the way that we move. And they don't.
That's exactly what I was telling Chris. In order to do that, you have to not care. And you have to be willing to watch their back, continue walking and not say, wait, no. Pretend you don't have no arms. Let him keep walking. You let him keep walking. He did you a favor. He did you a favor. Unless he's family, I would say you grow a stump and try to touch him. But other than that, you don't care. Like I said, I got this, like I said, maybe because I had a father in the home. I got that from my dad, and I got that growing up with my brothers.
No, there's no maybe. It is because you had a father.
You know what I mean? Now that you're coming into your own, like I said, first thing I would do if I was Chris, as a brotherly advice, I'm building my own island. Second thing I would do as a Chris, I'm going to vet the people. I'm going to put a list down with the people in my family. I ain't talking to the ones on the right no more. Why? Because I don't care. Secondly, everybody on my phone is going to have a name. The ones that don't have a name, they ain't going to be on my phone. They don't need to be in
my phone.
Right. I don't pick up numbers without a name.
Yeah, my blacklist is crazy.
They were important enough for me to type the name in my phone. They were important enough for me to use my fingers. And that's how you have to grow. I believe that's how men have to, especially in this modern day time, man. Nobody cares about you. If one thing COVID taught me was how much people don't care about you. My phone never rang and said, bro, are you sick? Are you good? Are you still above ground? Did you get sick? Not one call came in. And I was like, wow, okay.
Right.
Right. Nobody called to say, do you have toilet paper? Do you have meat? Do you have food? Shit. I was like, God damn, nobody loves me. Right? But hey, I tell you one thing. After COVID, I found out who my friends were, and I was very grateful for it. So at that point, man, in order to get your own island, dude, you're gonna have to break a few eggs. I don't like war, but I have nobody killing people if I'm in it. I don't like it, but I have no problem killing because that's my job. And because if I don't kill him, he's gonna kill me, and I ain't ending up on the ground. You know, so that's the mindset you have to have. I think if it is what you want to do in order to grow from it, right? And I'm not saying you. I'm talking to the audience or
In
whoever.
general, yeah, I get what you're
In
saying.
general, because that's the way life is, and I learned that. You know, and maybe I learned it too well. That's why I'm single with no kids today.
Shoot, you and me both. Are you serious?
Hey, the curse of, let me tell
Are
you
you
something.
serious?
The curse of
Listen, man, a
information.
very wise man once said, a wise man, a smart man learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man learns from everybody else's.
Look,
Oh shit!
we might make this a show note. You know what I'm saying? Like you've been informed to a degree of clarity where you just can't unsee some things, and because you've already information, I believe, allows you to see the past, present, and the future all at the same time.
Yep.
Information is the key to seeing before, during, and after of every single thing. You know, information is the vehicle of time travel.
Yep.
Because when you're only responsible for you, then when you have to sit back and meditate, be quiet, doodle, if you got to draw in your little book or whatever that is, whatever you do,
Yep.
that's you time traveling about the decision that you got to make, the choices you got to make in the meantime, the going to see the gray haired version of yourself, and then looking at the younger, you know what I'm saying, version of yourself that's completely oblivious, and what you would tell the younger version of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because
and you know what, Chris? I would even double up on that, Vic. And I could tell Chris honestly, at my age and my experience, I could tell you, and I could look in the mirror and be honest with myself, right? I don't need to lie to myself. I could tell you exactly where I went wrong with certain people in my life dealing with women, and where I could have had a kid that would have fit perfectly. You know, back then it was, I don't need. But I could tell you right now where I made those mistakes, and the struggle I have is saying, God damn, why didn't I? Why didn't I?
Yeah,
You know,
why didn't I just pull the trigger
why didn't I
and
just
just
pull that
do
trigger?
it?
And how do I supplement that thought? I try to do better in life. I try to do more. I go back to drawing. So it makes me forget about the mistake I made. And it is a mistake. Because I can look at it now and say it's a mistake. Maybe somebody else will call it something differently. Oh, you know that old wisdom shit. Oh, it wasn't the right time at the time that it happened. Now is the right time because
like there's no comfort in that.
Yeah,
Right.
you're in
There's
that
no
frame
real-
of mind.
That's no
Still
real
don't change
comfort
the
in
fact
that.
that I lost a jewel. Are you serious? Get
Because
out my face with that false wisdom.
hey, you know this is the thing, right? That little piece of information that I use as an analogy to describe what time travel really is, you know, is it's the degree of accountability that a man has to have, because whatever choice he makes after that is his fault.
Yep.
It's his fault. Like there's no circumstance. Like yeah, you could blame fundamentally, you know what I'm saying, somebody else, because everybody has a role in what you was trying to accomplish, but nobody knows your plan but you.
Exactly.
So if you have a plan, and which is a plus, stuff can still happen.
Yep.
And if your plan is so fragile that somebody else's mistake can derail it completely, then you have to vet better. You have to make better decisions, because ultimately you should have knew better. All of this comes back as a man. You should have known better. You should have seen that coming. I would have never. Everybody is the perfect tactician
In
about somebody
hindsight.
else's situation. You know what I'm saying? Hindsight is 2020, and whatever's better than 2020 is usually coming from somebody that you know what I'm saying, that can never do what you do anyway. But they done made a ton of mistakes, because everything pivots off of what you should have done and what you should not have done. And somewhere in there, you become either a leader or a follower. You know what I'm saying? Or you become a worse version of yourself or a better version of yourself. So ultimately, you have to use your experience to better to develop better discernment, discipline, and overall accountability, because you're going to have way more people as a man of value that's going to try to repurpose your value, because they look at what you are and say, how can I benefit from this?
Yep.
Like good, bad, and different. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's deliberate and malicious, or whether or not it's, like it has a greater community energy that goes with it. In either way, they're trying to fit you into their plan. You fit in somebody else's plan. But if you don't have no boundaries, your plan is never going to be followed through on. Your plan is always going to get rejected and competed with, And in order for you to be in a position where nobody can compete with what you want to do, plan wise, you have to set the bar for other people to raise up to before they can even ask a question. Because you can't have the least amount of resources and think that you can make the rules. And you can't do that from a lesser position. So by default, if a man is going to be responsible for everything, he's going to also come with a higher degree of accountability. Because it takes less to make him popular. Even, you got to think about it, a false allegation can make a man popular. But doing the right thing will make a man invisible. Generally speaking, men value privacy more than attention. So if he works in private and accomplishes everything he wants to accomplish or sets out to do, nobody knows he exists. The minute he does something he shouldn't have done, or associated with the wrong people, he's famous. So what comes with that is a higher degree of accountability, because you're more vulnerable than what you think you are.
No argument from me. Like Royce the 5'9" said it. I think he said most people hustle to be seen. I hustle to disappear. I don't want everybody to know what I'm doing. I want to be away. I don't want everybody in my business. I don't want everybody seeing what I'm doing. I'm not trying to be popular. I'm trying to get out of this. I just want to live, and I want to live comfortably.
Yeah, I think then I tell you, like I tell everybody else, you have to establish what type of life you want to be. I always call it a selfish life, because I don't think you can build your life and care about others anyways, but that's me. You have to be, you have to, I think every man should establish, okay, what kind of, people say that I want to lead, I want to, like, what type, have you ever asked yourself what type of life you want? Do you see yourself in what kind of car you want, what kind of house you want, and then put a number to it? Like,
or even this,
and I'm not speaking to you, I'm speaking to the audience. I'm saying, when people talk shit like that, I always go, well, I just want a simple life. What the hell is a simple life? Because you know what? You don't control the economy. Are you calling simple life as in an apartment? I'm just paying rent and eating at McDonald's and going to the gym, coming home and cooking a meal for yourself. Or what kind of life do you want for yourself? And then you got to put a number to it, because that number determines if you can have that life.
Yeah,
and
I never say
to do this.
I know you're not talking to me specifically, but I never say I want a simple life. I say I want a comfortable life. And yes,
what does that mean?
I put a number on that. I have to put a number on it. You understand what I'm saying? For me to live, for me to live comfortably for the life that I want to live, I have to have
life you want.
For the life that I want to live,
not for you to live not for you. When I say that, the reason I say it like that is because not for you to live comfortably. I said the life you want. So whatever you feel is comfortable, that's the life that makes you comfortable. I'm asking and then put a number to it, because that's the only way you're gonna get that life.
I think he was working on that.
I like I said, man, I get what you're saying. Like a lot of people say the cliche thing without even putting any thought behind it. And I think that's what you're trying to get at. Like, if you really want to do the cliche, I want to quote unquote live comfortably, map that shit out, figure out what it is, put a number on it and achieve that number, and then you can go live comfortably. You see what I'm saying? And that's where that's kind of where I am, and that's where I am working towards. Like I know that I can say what it is now, but I know that once I reach that, I'm gonna want more, because I'm going to want to strive for more. So I can't put a number on it right now, because putting a number on it right now would just mean It would just be me being comfortable enough to take care of me. But I also want to be a husband and I also want to be a father. So I have, once I get comfortable enough to take care of me like I really, really want to, I got to put a number on what it's going to take to bring somebody into my covering and build my legacy like that. You understand what I'm saying? So,
I
and
think
and
I
that's
think
the part of the
that.
game that people don't do. People just don't. People say shit, but don't put any thought behind it.
I don't think
Let
any
me
man
jump
should
right.
settle.
Let me jump right there, Antoine.
Any man should
Like
settle.
this is so like take money off the table, right? I think that if you got resources, your money's going to reflect your resources. So if you got like, and what I mean is like income streams, multiple things that generate just passive income, which is really the I think the main ingredient to having your freedom, your time. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got time and you're good at creating something, that's the best thing you could ever have because you could produce something no matter what. You could take the smallest little detail and turn it into something. Antoine, you're a painter. You might get inspired by a certain color, and you might do a whole series of art. You know what I'm saying? That pivots off of that because you could take that proverbial thread that's unstitched from that sweater and unravel it and you know what I'm saying and make it a completely different scenario, right?
Right.
Because when you function in a creative space, you could draw inspiration like that. We talked about it's like lightning, right? It's a oops, I gotta call you back and I might disappear for like 3 days and then come back and be like, hey, what's up, man? You know,
Right.
because it's like lightning, right? You have to react when you got it. What you do isn't for the money. The money is a byproduct. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And so as long as you work within your talents and you transmute that into a product, you're gonna always get paid. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a skill. And it's just a matter of time and place of where you present your work. You know what I'm saying? That determines what type of feedback and restitution you're gonna get for your time, right? So
Right.
resources and skills are like the ceiling is contingent upon how hard the person's willing to work. So money is a byproduct of whatever your discipline is. If you undisciplined, things are going to happen more sporadically for you, than it would if you was just disciplined.
Yeah, but I don't think any man should. I don't think I'll say it again, and I'll always say it. I don't think no man in life should settle for what they have. I think men. I think men as a man needs to keep doing, keep doing. It's just till we
Never
have
stop working.
no knuckles left in our hands. Just keep doing, no matter how much we succeed. I mean, if that was the case, Bill Gates, Elon Musk would stop a long time ago. They don't even do it for the money anymore. They do it for the kill, right? You ask a rich man, why do you do what you do? He goes, I love the kill. I love knowing there's a property that I need to buy and flip it. He doesn't need the money. He already got more than enough for his. He has already generational wealth. There's rich and then there's the wealthy. So,
Yeah,
and I like that.
he just dives into his skill and sharpens the skill. Yeah,
Exactly.
he just
And that's
sharpens
why
the
I think
skill.
men, like if you're saying, I'm comfortable because I draw, I have to live a comfortable life. I'm good. I like it. I draw. I would even do what I do, even if I could sustain the lifestyle that I have for free, I would draw like that, right? But that's how much I love what I do. But when I have my Wolfpack and people around me and I see, God damn, what's it like to live like that? I'm like, come on, man. I want a Ferrari. I want a Lamborghini. Come on.
And
I
it's
don't
not and it's not
know.
a competition thing. It's more along the lines of
No,
I
it's
just want to know
not.
what that's like. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
just
think
want to know what
It's
that's
about
like.
thriving like that.
and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like when you pair resources and skills, you're not thinking about money. You're thinking about freedom. You're thinking about the ability to choose, whether it be a short term or long term decision. The how close in proximity are you to these things? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Right.
if you want access to, I don't know, elite bankers, you probably need to have a certain level of economic affluence. You got to kind of understand a niche, where you can solicit feedback from a credible spot because most people ain't just walking around just giving you information. They're not gonna just look at you and be like, Chris knows what to do with this, or Antoine knows what to do with this. They gotta feel you out to see if you can hold a conversation, and even if they don't like you or not, they gotta vet you in a different lane because you still might be useful. Because like again, these things are relationship driven. The more you progress into who you are as a brand and as a person, you have to find out what's the mesh point with that. Yeah. Because if you create something that's great and you do it while you unfocused, undisciplined, and disloyal to yourself, and you still produce a great product, you still have to connect who you are in character to people. You just can't do it without like so if in an example of that, you just can't take yourself out and only live off of your prowess and your talent. The minute somebody like hear you when you open your mouth, and if you always got something disparaging, pessimistic, and you know what I'm saying, just uncomfortable to talk about, the chances of people wanting to work with you change. They don't necessarily mean it goes up or down, because you might open yourself up to a whole different crew of people that you probably don't need to be associated with.
Right.
It makes you more susceptible to the wrong people. And when you start seeing opportunity and your goals, you know what I'm saying, somewhat get mixed into that, though, because those are all different ingredients, you make different concessions. Unless you did it for yourself, unless you had enough bandwidth on your own to say, I don't need your money, or I don't need your support. I know how to get this on my own, and I'm willing to do the work. And when that's why a man has to put himself in a resource position, because he's closer to his outcomes if he puts a higher level of restriction and with a aligned discipline that goes with that restriction on himself. Like if you say, I got to lock myself in for the next 3 days to complete a project, then that's what you're going to do.
And wouldn't nobody bother you?
And nobody going to bother you.
Like if Antoine were to say, I'm not going to be on the next couple of streams because I got this big ass art project to do, we would say, okay.
Mm-hmm. No heat, no judgment.
No heat, no judgment. Come back when you're ready.
Yep. Because
just make sure your mic is working when you come back in.
Yeah. And get on, and maybe you'll be on time. You know what I'm saying?
God damn.
Like, see, like, yeah, we going in. You know, like every time we get a chance, because the Wolfpack, dig. But yeah, we gotta dig. Because see, this is the thing, the Wolfpack ain't passing no negative judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that ultimately you still made it here. Because this is something you do in your off time.
Yeah, but it's something that it's also important. I'm passionate about, to be honest with you.
But you're passionate about it,
and I look forward to it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What we're saying is, if you had to choose between sitting on a platform with us from 7 to 8:30 on a Wednesday night and completing an art project, you would do the art project, and neither one of us would be upset with you about it
at all.
But men understand that. Though. But we're men. We understand that.
Yep. Exactly.
But correction, we are men that are not in competition with each other. Right. That understand that.
Yeah. We understand that completely, right?
And that, folks, is accountable masculinity right there. You see that?
Yeah. We understand that very clearly amongst ourselves. I think that the problem that we have in this, like I said, man, the problem I think that we have today is people aren't willing to be honest and make selfish decisions for themselves. And I think that and they're unable to tell the other person that, you know what, you don't fit in right now. I really think men today don't want to do that. They want to be liked by everybody, especially in the social media world. You want to get 1,000 likes, 1,000 views, 5,000 views, and all this sort of bullshit, because obviously it's going to make you money, but you also want to be liked and recognized. Mm-hmm. That's me. Let's keep it 100, right? I mean, I love doing it. Don't get me wrong. And I love that. My goal is to have the channel grow to whatever. 1 million followers, subscribers, however that works.
That would be amazing. If we can manifest that, that'd be great. So we got a couple true false questions I'm gonna come up with, right? And I want us to talk about these and explain yay and nay. Do you guys agree? I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna let y'all, you know what I'm saying, toss this question back and forth.
Yes, men are the worst men. That's true.
Yes, men are the worst men. That's true. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's the truth, man. I have to agree on that one.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Yeah, yes men are the worst. I don't know. I don't. I try not to associate myself with yes men. I need people to tell me the truth. I think the friends I have in my life do that though. I think a lot of them call me out on my bullshit. So yeah,
And those are the best men to have. The
yeah,
best men to have in your life are men that actually see your potential enough to check you when you fucking up,
yeah,
and not just go along with what you got going on just because you popular or they don't want to hurt your feelings. Nah, man, listen, man, I would rather you hurt my feelings with the truth than comfort me with a lie.
yeah, yeah.
Tell me the truth. If I'm fucking up, tell me I'm fucking up.
That's
And
the way.
say it just like that. Hey, bro, you not representing the crew right. And here's why you're not representing the crew right. You need to chill out and you need to do better because I see more in you and you representing us wrong.
But
And I'm
Chris, you
not
gotta
going
be
to
willing.
allow you to
But
represent us
Chris,
wrong.
you have to be willing to be not liked after you say that, right? You
I
have
have
to
no
not care.
problem taking the
Okay, so you
L.
have to not care when you say that to someone.
That's true. That's true. I
You have to not care.
and the
If you're
thing is
gonna
with
if
and the
you're gonna
thing
go
is with
at
men
somebody like that, you have to not care.
and the thing is with men, we can't be afraid of that. We
Mm-mm.
can't be afraid of not caring. And to keep it real, it's not about not caring because if I tell you the truth, I care about you because I can't say that I care about you and lie to you at the same time. Those things don't go together.
Yeah, but all your friends know you. All your friends know, Chris, you don't care. That's why they're your friends because they understand you not caring.
It's it's
Like
it's
my
not
friend said,
about
my friend tells his wife, man, if you want to know if her dress is pretty, ask Antoine. Sure, he's joking around, but he knows it's true.
but see when I when you say not care, I get what you say, but it at base level,
He gonna find
you
a way.
care. Yeah, you care about the person. You just don't give a fuck about how you say what you say because you care about them too much. You have to be
Well, he's in
blunt,
my circle. I have to care about him. I'm talking about
right?
the ones outside of you, the
Oh,
ones
okay.
that don't serve. I'm talking about the ones that don't serve a purpose.
But see, even with the ones that do serve a purpose, you care about them as a person, but you
Yeah,
can't
because
care
they
about
serve
the
a purpose,
delivery of
though.
your you can't care about the delivery of your
No,
message.
no. But
That's
they
what
but
I
they know but they know the delivery that's coming.
exactly. That's
Okay.
that's the point. That's the
Okay. We're
point.
on the same
Yeah.
page.
'Cause so just to differentiate, because
Right.
like I said, man, you can't lie to somebody that you love. I don't think that goes. I can't. I don't think that goes together
Well,
unless it's something like small. But if it's somebody that you really care about, like if it was somebody in
I
your
can't
family
tell
that
them
was
to
really
do.
fucking up, you would tell them, "Hey, man, you fucking up."
Oh no,
You would.
no, that's different. I thought you meant if I can hold a lie back from someone I love. Yes, I can. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If I know that lie comes out and it destroys, it's bigger
Exactly,
than
Vic. That's my face.
if I know it's bigger than the if I know it's bigger than the problem. The problem is after I tell that lie will be bigger than the problem that the lie is holding. Oh hell no, I ain't
I
saying
would love
shit.
to be a
Oh,
fly
you
on
about to
that
see?
wall when that
Ooh, you
conversation
I am,
happened.
hold
ta-
up. Look,
I am taking that to the
I
grave.
told look, I'm telling you, boy, like he can, it doesn't matter.
I
Antoine
would
can
love to be a
find the
fly on that
loophole. You
wall.
know what I'm saying? The probability versus possibility of Antoine
I'm taking it
having
to
a
the grave.
different opinion and being able to articulate it, you can never ever bet against it. And
I,
with that
I
being
am
said,
taking it to the. I think you should take that live to the grave.
this is a perfect. Antoine's always gives me a perfect segue. Check this out, right? Read this question. Hold
Okay,
up.
let's read the next. What's the next one?
Hold up. Here it comes right here.
Oh, okay.
Yes, every man has been a yes man at some point.
Shit, I'm a yes. I was a yes man yesterday. I lied to a guy so I can get a contract. Fuck yeah. I lie. I will tell you. I will put my ego aside and say how much I love you to get your money.
Ain't
Fuck yeah.
that a bitch?
I have no shame in that category. Oh hell, I even tell you your wife is pretty if you want.
Oh
Shit,
shoot.
I'll tell you like it.
Wow. That is
I
amazing.
got no
Hey,
problem
do
lying
you
to your face.
understand? Look, do you understand where these questions come from? Because
I
I
love it here.
see,
I
hey,
have
I,
no
I
problem.
I see where they're going. Because like, I
No
think we
problem.
all agree
I have no
that
problem.
everybody has been a yes man, whether they have been aware of it or not. until you establish boundaries, most cases you probably a yes man. You know what I'm saying? Because that goes back into like the blind loyalty. You know, everybody experiences that because you're usually raised with a level of I would say discipline or respect that really amounts to you just doing what people tell you to do until you say, you know what, I'm not doing that no more. You know, so. And I think that that's what you fight against going forward as you vet people, because you still want to believe what they say they're going to do. And you still have to, you know, like choose if you're going to believe them and have faith in them and have faith in yourself or whatever that looks like. But ultimately, after a certain level of experience in life, you're basically going against the grain because you should know better on some things, right?
Right.
And most things that happen to you come from you being a yes man, not somebody waking up and saying, I'm going to destroy Antoine or Chris's life. It's something that you agree to. Like, like whether it be direct or indirect, there's something that you agreed to that got you in whatever situation that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Like when you watch, like, you know, they had those documentaries about, you know, like some crazy wife has altered her husband and try to get the insurance money. Like, how did she become the wife? Because he had to marry her, right? So he brought her into his space, and when he was in the best season of his life, and whatever expectation he had, he done came home and she done, you know what I'm saying, dribbled a couple of rounds through his skull and his body, and there's always somebody come out and say, I knew she wasn't right for him, you know. But ultimately, the higher level of accountability still says to a man, you should have knew better.
Okay, this is perfect thing. You remember that movie? I saw it recently, but I'm going to see if you guys remember it. Back in the day, it was Robert Redford, Demi Moore, and Woody Harrelson. That movie when he asked Robert Redford was some millionaire and said to his wife, listen, if you sleep with me, I'll give you $1 million.
Indecent proposal.
Okay, back in the 80s, when I was all romantic and shit, I was like, man, I'll never let my girl do that. What the fuck is wrong with you, right? Man, today I'd be convincing her. Listen, we're talking $1 million here. Back then I was like, what's it called? Lionel Richie, Usher, all them, woo, baby, and Lean On and all that, But today, girl, we're talking $1 million. Let's really have this discussion today. Let's really have this discussion. You could forget about him for one night. I am telling you like it is. I don't know. I wouldn't make the same decision. I would have to really test our love. Because they weren't married at the time. Or were they? I can't remember. But anyways.
As long as Antoine is in the conversation.
No, they weren't married. I don't think they were married at the time.
No idea where it's going to go. Yeah.
Listen. I just think today I would be convincing her. Like, we're talking $1 million here.
They go to yes man part right there.
I have to become a yes man.
So it's circumstantial.
I could live with it. I really think that. Before, if you would have asked me when I first watched the movie, because I thought it was a great movie, I would be, fuck, man, how could you do it? You could. And then when he was regretting, I'm like, good, serves you right, man, you stupid idiot. You should have never let that happen. Now I'm like,
Antoine used to put, like right there in that conversation, he's saying he used to put the woman on the pedestal.
Yep.
And then, but now he got the money on the pedestal.
Well, see, I still think she's on a pedestal, but when she turns that pedestal into entitlement, that's when you have to take her down and slap her up a bit and then put it back on there.
But slap her up.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Look,
figuratively.
Perfect time.
Figuratively.
Like, go ahead and clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Because we got about a minute. We're gonna clean this up.
Okay, go ahead.
Like Antoine ain't gonna be over here slapping nothing around, all right? So
no, not physically.
Not physically. We just
I would never hit a girl physically.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to end up in jail for that.
No, we don't need that. You know what I'm saying? So again, privacy.
And I wouldn't encourage men to do it either unless she hit you first. Then she can wake up yesterday. That's
every time we try to clean it up. You know what I'm saying?
But nope, we're not going down this route tonight. We're not doing that tonight.
We're not gonna do it. You know,
But I would hit her.
Jesus.
I'm just saying.
hey, gents, I greatly appreciate y'all taking the time to field my questions, man. And
What's the next one? Oh, that's it?
oh yeah, man, yeah, we had
Oh, okay. Sorry.
like it went by pretty
Only two? Only two?
yeah.
Oh, shit.
So I wanted to bring those questions to light because I wanted to frame everything that was said to get to the point that at the end of the show where we get to speak our piece, right? The least trustworthy men are usually yes men.
Mm-hmm.
Because their discipline and their decision making pivots off of a different code, a different outcome, a different personal desire that's aside from what the Wolfpack, you know what I'm saying, deems as being useful.
Yes, men believe in self-preservation.
Exactly. Yeah, they generally speaking, they only out for self. That like when you hear yes man, you think of selfish men,
Yeah.
dangerous men, untrustworthy men, you know, and transactional relationships. Oh, you can still do business with them, but you got to put boundaries on them. You know what I'm saying? Because
describe the woman right there.
yeah, that's the point. And that's the point. Transactional behavior is not masculine. You see what I'm saying? Transactional behavior is not masculine. Like we generally sit back, we laugh. You say you just bust out laughing about that?
It's true.
But it's true because even though you up here talking crazy, you know what I'm saying, in your heart of hearts, you're gonna make that decision. You know what I'm saying, on a case by case basis. You know what I'm saying? But like nobody can just hypothetically, yeah, you can field the question any way you want to. But if it compromises who you are as a person, you're gonna think a little bit harder about it. And it has to fit. It has to make sense. It has to be a deal because everything that you are, everything that makes up who you are as a person, Antoine, and who you are as a person, Chris, it like all of the things that you've overcome, if money and comfort are the trade-off, you got some work to do. Because in general, if you're going to be accountable and if you're going to be successful, then discipline is part of your decision-making ingredients. It is. Like there's just no way around it because you can be presented with unique situations, but your moral code is going to govern the decision that you make and the consequences and the choice. That's like having a moral code allows you to see the consequences before they even make the decision.
Right.
So you can't be fooled. You can't be deceived, and you don't get a chance to blame nobody else. You got to eat it. You should have knew better. That's just the bottom line. So that's ultimately what it comes down to. This is why I said men have to have a higher standard of accountability than women. I don't care if people want us to be equal or not. That's fine. That's utopian. But the reality is that our consequences are different. So you have to make different decisions. Yes, men are the worst men. That's what we discovered tonight in this conversation, and it just came out naturally because we discussed everything prior to it that amounts to the DNA, the forensics of, like, yes men leave forensics. You could tell when somebody just agreed to anything, didn't say anything, and just let it happen. And it could have been easily preventable. But then when you start getting into the details of why that person was in that position to say yay or nay, and they chose yay every time for the wrong reason, is because they were easily bought. Yes men are affordable. Yes men are also very cheap. And their decisions are costly when placed in a leadership position that they are not qualified for. That's ultimately what the point is here, you know, is that don't be a yes man. Don't be a yes man. And recognize that at some point that you were. Because accountable men can see the past, the present, and the future. With that being said, we out.
Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and hit the like button and follow. Please leave your feedback in the comments. Make sure you hit up the super chat, leave a donation to support the platform. Your chick make you mad, my chick make me a sandwich. Your chick make you mad, my chick make me a sandwich. Go cop the shirt, visit the merch store, shop with accountable masculinity and